Legend has it that infamous outlaws Jesse and Frank James vowed to never loot a bank in Fort Worth. Why? Well, because their favorite chili parlor was there, and in Jesse's words, quote, "Any place that has a chili joint just like this ought to be treated better." In addition to its bank-saving chili, here are another 10 reasons to move to Fort Worth, Texas. The food. Fort Worth may have been saved from the James brothers due to its official state dish, but that's not the only delicious chow in this town. Get out your finest eatin irons, as this city is jam-packed with everything from fine dining to unbeatable food trucks. In fact, Iron Chef star Tim Love operates several restaurants in the Fort Worth area. This place really has something for everyone. Craving some comfort food? Then head on over to Gus's world-famous fried chicken for a taste of Yelp's most top-rated soul food spot. Want to up your veggie intake after all that grease? No problem. Popular vegan Mexican restaurant Bentley's Love has got you covered for both breakfast and brunch 6 days a week. And if you're feeling as tough as Popeye after all those veggies, then delve yourself into the world's first and largest indoor rodeo, Southwestern Exposition and Livestock Show, the Cowboy Culture. For some, this might be a reason to not move to Fort Worth, but we think it's still a plus. Cowboy culture is kind of the best. There's the music, the rodeos, and that classic Southern charm. Remember, Fort Worth is historically recognized as the original cowboy city of America, and even got nicknamed Where the West Begins, and for good reason. As a popular stop on the legendary Chisholm Trail, Fort Worth quickly became the center of the ranching industry. Cowboys made their money in Fort Worth and spent it there even faster at the saloons, dance halls, and bawdy houses reign. Every cowboy eager to enjoy society's delights before getting back on the long stretch north towards Kansas. Today, Fort Worth is still an icon of the Wild West, with famous country music venues such as the world's largest honky tonk, Billy Bob's Texas, and is the hometown of modern-day cowgirl and American Idol winner Kelly Clarkson. Heck, if Fort Worth can charm salty old Simon Cowell, it can charm anybody. The small town energy. Although the city is growing fast with a population that's more than doubled since 2000, it's still done an excellent job of maintaining that small town coziness that has convinced over 900,000 residents to be able to call it home. Fort Worth is the 13th biggest city in America, but is one of the few on the list that offers affordable living in its downtown core. Grocery stores, restaurants, galleries, and your local saloons are all within shouting distance. And if you're craving a weekend surrounded by skyscrapers, Dallas is just a short horse ride away. Fort Worth has excellent public transportation. Speaking of that trip to Dallas that we talked about, well, a couple of dollars and a quick hour on the commute train and, well, you're there. If the train really isn't your thing though, Fort Worth does also have an extensive bike share program that connects to over 40 stations and all of the city's hottest spots. While it may seem easy to get to Dallas, we don't see why you'd want to, especially when Fort Worth is known for having some of the most unique buildings in all of Texas. The architecture. Fort Worth is absolutely world-renowned for its architecture, from the still-standing Western classics to its cutting-edge contemporary designs. A great example of the city's Western relic is the Tarrant County Courthouse. The residence rival-style courthouse opened its doors in 1895 and was built using local Texas pink granite. Pink. Pretty cute for a building that saw some of the deadliest criminals in the state. The Outlaws. Chili-loving Jesse James wasn't the only outlaw to make a pass through Fort Worth. The infamous Bonnie and Clyde even set up shop in the Stockyards Hotel. Although, like James, the deadly duo chose to cool it on the crime here. Other famous criminal residencies include Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which are common with Fort Worth regulars who come to be able to keep a low profile, play poker, and hide out in the city's southern downtown, better known as Hell's Half Acre. Crime is not usually something that attracts people to a city, but hey, let's face it, living in the same place as some of America's most infamous outlaws is pretty badass. The employment opportunities. Move down to Fort Worth and move up with your net worth. Because with the Dallas-Fort Worth region currently leading the country in total job gains, adding over 100,000 jobs annually, this city is a place of monetary abundance. With that being said, 60% of America's paper money is printed right here in Fort Worth at the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. So, if heisting is your preferred method of payment, you'll do pretty fine. Fort Worth is young. It's no wonder Fort Worth is so hip and progressive. The average resident of Fort Worth is only 32 years old, and this means that if you're young, you're going to have no trouble finding a date or even making friends. And if you're old, well, there's always going to be a youngin' eager to cut your grass or help you walk across the street. Although the city might be known as Cowtown, none of these cows are going out to pasture anytime soon. They aren't. Fort Worth has an unbelievable amount of museums, including the Amon Carter Museum of American Art, the Kimball Art Museum, and the Sid Richardson Museum. If your fine art of choice is music, then you might also want to buy tickets for the Van Cliburn International Piano Competition or the opera. After all, you know what they say, the only thing that gets bigger in Texas is my vocal range. The legends. As unexpected of a city with such a rich history, plenty of myths and legends have been spun over the centuries, whether it's over a jug of moonshine or a pint of Lone Star. Of course, we've already touched on the outlaw stories, but Fort Worth does have some spooktacular paranormal legends as well. A fan favorite is Miss Molly's Hotel. The hotel did begin as a prim and proper boarding school. Then, it later became a brothel. Nowadays, visitors state they claim to smell things like, well, perfume and the sound of joyful laughter being heard over the bar. There's also the fact that they'll even see full-on body apparitions, which, to be honest, makes me not want to stay here. Miss Molly's isn't the only haunted site in Fort Worth. Fort Worth Lake is also said to have a lurking creature that is half man and half goat. Maybe chupacabra? Whether you consider yourself an amateur paranormal investigator or you just love getting the goosebumps, then Fort Worth is definitely the place for you. But hey, if you're a little faint-hearted and now Goatman's got you on the fence, you can always check out our video of top 10 reasons not to move to Fort Worth so as to make up your mind.